Good morning everyone. Ngayon, nasa panglaging pitong aralin na tayo. Sana may matutunan kayo sa ating video lesson today. Let me share my presentation. Nandito na tayo sa panglabing pitong aralin. Pagsusuri ng note receivable at pagtutuos ng interest income. Ano ba yung tinatawag na notes receivable? Yung note receivable, may source document yun. So that is an external transaction. Pero yung interest on notes receivable, nakadikit lang yun sa notes. So, yun ang internal transaction. Tapos na tayo dito sa mga aralin na ito. So, tapos na tayo. Ayoko nitong laser na to at hindi ko makita. Dito sa highlighter. Mas nakikita ko. Tapos na tayo sa cash. Cash shortage ang internal transaction natin. Dito sa accounts receivable, meron tayong allowance for doubtful accounts or doubtful accounts expense. Ang internal transaction natin dito ay doubtful accounts expense and allowance for doubtful accounts. Pagka-partner sila. This time, dito na tayo sa notes receivable. So, from the unadjusted trial balance, ano ba pwede nating makita sa notes receivable na internal transaction? Yun yung tinatawag na interest on notes receivable. Ito yung itsura ng isang promissory note. This is what you call a promissory note. Pag nakatanggap ka ng promissory note, then meron kang notes receivable. Pag nag-issue ka, meron kang notes payable. So, ano-ano ang part ng promissory note? Meron tong amount, date, duration of the promissory note, the maker, and signature of the maker. Kung sino ang nag-issue or gumawa. At kanino ibabayad. Plus the interest rate. So, yan yung mga important parts ng notes. Promissory note. Itong date na to, hindi ito yung due date. Ito yung date na in-issue or ginawa ng maker ang note. Ito yung interest on note. So, ang source document niya ay ito rin, same note. Pero hindi mo marirecord kagad yung interest income. Kasi upon issuance of the note, wala namang interest income pa. So, after the lapse of time, nagkakaroon na ng interest income. Yung interest income na yun ang internal transaction at nangangailangan ng adjusting entry. So, paano ba kinocompute ang interest income? So, we have the principal, interest rate, and yung duration or of the frequency of a year or duration of the interest of the promissory note. Ito na yung makocompute nyong interest. So, we go back to our problem. So, kay Dr. Ginding principal, so duration and interest rate. Bakit kailangan makuha yung duration? Kasi itong interest rate na to is for 1 year. So, ang assumption annual interest. Hindi mo naman i-apply itong 9% dito sa 1,000 kasi 4 months lang naman. Kung 1 year ito, okay na 9% ang i-apply mo. Pero 4 months lang, so you have to get the interest only for the 4 months. So the interest calculation is principal, which is 1,000. Interest rate, 9%. Yung duration niya, 4 months computed on a 30-day per month period. So 4 times 30, 120 days. Over 360 days. Kasi yung 9% ay para sa 360 days. So ang mako-compute natin ay 30 pesos interest income. When does the note mature or when is it payable? The maturity date is the date The maturity date is the date on which the note becomes due and must be paid. So, iba yung date of issuance at iba yung date ng maturity. Yung date of issuance, yun yung nakalagay sa note. Yung maturity date, yun yung kukompute din palagi kung kailan nga ba. Kasi hindi yun naka-indicate sa note. Sometimes notes require monthly installments or payments, but usually all of the principal and interest must be paid at the same time. Ano ibig sabihin? Minsan, every month, dapat bayaran yung interest on note issued. Pero usually, at the end of the term or on the maturity date of the note, tsaka lang binabayaran yung interest together with the principal. The wording in the note expresses the maturity date and determines when the note is to be paid. So, babasahin mabuti yung note kasi doon naka-indicate kailan ang maturity date at kailan dapat bayaran. The note falling due on a Sunday or holiday is due on the next business day because you cannot demand payment on a holiday. So, kasi the next business day mo na yan ma-demand ang payment. So, examples of the maturity date wording are on demand. On demand, I promise to pay. When the maturity date is on demand, it is at the option of the holder and cannot be computed. So, kung kailan lang na-present o dinemand na bayaran, tsaka pa lang mako-compute yung interest on the note. So, ang madidetermine mo lang palagi, principal. Pero hanggat hindi pinipresent for payment yung note, hindi mo mako-compute yung interest. Now, ito on a stated date. Nakalagay na ang date. So, July 18, let's make it 2020 para ma-update. On July 18, 2020, I promise to pay. When the maturity date is designated, computing the date is not necessary. So, July 18, 2020 daw babayaran yung note. So, alam mo na kung kailan babayaran. July 18, 2020. So, dapat siguro example natin mas malayo. Pero kahit anong layo niyan, hindi ko naman alam kailan nyo ito papanoorin. So, okay na yan. On July 18, 2020, I promise to pay. Therefore, on July 18, 2020, ang maturity date. At the end of the stated period. So may sinabing period at the end of that stated period. 1 year after date, I promise to pay. 4 months after date, I promise to pay. So at the end of 4 months, doon ka magbabayad. At the end of a year, doon ka magbabayad. So kailan ang maturity date? 1 year after date, I promise to pay. When the maturity is expressed in year or years, the note matures on the same day of the same month as the date of the note in the year of maturity. Kunyari, January 1, 2020, nag-promise. January 1, 2020. 1 year after date daw ay magbabayad siya. So, next year na yan. January 1, 2021. Magiging January 1, 2021. Ang due date. Ngayon, 4 months after date. By month yan bibilangin. So, kunyari, July 18, 2020 in-issue. So, ang sabi 4 months after date. Kung na-issue yan ng July 18, 4 months after July yan. So, bibilangin ulit. 4 months. July, August, September. Ilan ba? Ay, sorry. Ito pala example. For example, 1 month from July 18. So, 1 month from July 18 is August 18. O kung sinabing 2 months from July 18, edi magiging September 18. By month natin, at least we retain the same day. Except na lang kung 30 yon, tapos yung susunod, 31 yon date, tapos ang susunod na buwan ay 30. Ano gagamitin natin? 31 pa rin ba? Eh wala nga 30 yung susunod. Kunyari, September 30, 1 month after September 30. That will be, 1 month after October 31. Okay, October 31. Ang susunod na buwan ay November 30 yon. Eh 31, di kulang na isang araw. Magiging December 1 ba yun? No, it will remain as November 30, end of the month pa rin. Kasi, 1 month pa rin yung aanhin natin. Kunyari, March or January 31. 1 month after January 31. Eh, February is 29 lang or 28. Magdadagdag ba tayo ng araw? No, it will be at the end of February. Kasi, kino-compute natin per month na, hindi na per day. So, by the month ang bilang, hindi by the days. Etong pangatlo, 90 days after date, I promise to pay. When the maturity is expressed in days, the exact number of days must be counted. So, tandaan nyo, if it's by the year, hindi na kailangan eksakto or by the month. Pero pagka by days ang sinabi doon sa note, 90 days after date. So days ang ginamit, hindi month, hindi year. Then you have to compute for the exact day. So the first day of the date of origin is omitted and the last day of or maturity date is included in the count. For example, a 90-day note dated October 19 matures on January 17. Compute natin. So 90 days ang duration niya. Noong October 19, so 31 days ang October minus 19. So, merong 12 days sa October. Tapos, November, 30 days. December, ilang days? 31. Pagdating ng, i-total natin to 73. So, 90 minus 73, 17 days. So, ang maturity date natin ay January 23. Kung bibilangin mo sa January 17, kung bibilangin mo yan sa kamay, October 19, hindi mo sasama yun. Magsisimula ka ng 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 12. O, tama. 12 yung days natin. In-exclude natin yung 19, in-include natin yung last day. Okay? Ganun ang rule. So, dito sa dulo, maturity date is 17. O, kaya naka-include yung last day, which is 17. Naintindihan ba? 90 days yan. So, sa first month mo, ilang natirang araw. Sa susunod na month, kompleto naman yan. So, pangalawang, susunod pang month, pangatlong month, kompleto pa rin yan. Pero sa pang-apat na month, hindi na kompleto. So, ima-minus mo na itong total nitong tatlo doon sa duration para makuha mo ang due date. Pag-aralan niyo mabuti ito kasi this is how you compute for the maturity date. Kung may question kayo, lagay niyo lang sa comments para masagutan natin at maunawaan niyo ng lubos. Huwag kayo mahiyang maglagay ng comment. Sasagutin ko yung mga comment nyo kung talagang hindi nyo naintindihan ng lesson. Ang intention ko dito ay matuto kayo. So, kung hindi nyo naunawaan, despite pinanood yan, na ilang panood na kayo, hindi nyo pa rin maintindihan, magtanong na kayo at sasagutin ko naman kayo pag nakita ko meron kayong comment. O, conversion of accounts receivable into note. Illustrate natin. Paano ba nako-convert yung accounts receivable into note? Kasi may mga nangungutang na balasubas eh. Pinagkatiwalaan mo yung mukha, pinautang mo. Pero sa due date na sinabi niya magbabayad, na nakalagay sa resibo, hindi niya binayaran. Eh dahil wala ka ng tiwala, mag-require ka na ng notes, promissory note. Papa-issue mo na sa kanya yung promissory note. Kasi yung promissory note pwedeng may interest. At saka pag nagkademandahan kayo, meron kang ebidensya na nag-promise siya to pay. So, may mas, pagka ganon, pagka yung hindi nakabayad on time, ang isang suki, papa-issuehin niya ng promissory note. O, mag-issue kang promissory note. Hindi ka nagbayad ng utang mo eh. Kasi sa resibo naka-indicate kung kailan dapat bayaran. Eh, nung dumating na yung due date na nakalagay sa resibo, di pa rin nagbayad, ni-require na ng seller na mag-issue ng promissory note yung buyer para may assurance siya na magbabayad talaga to. Okay. To illustrate the conversion of an accounts receivable to a note, assume that Macoral's company had purchased 18,000 of merchandise on August 1 from Macor Company on account, utang. The normal credit period has elapsed, yung period na nasa resibo, and Macoral's cannot pay the invoice. Macor agrees to accept Macoral's 18,000 15% 90-day note dated September 1 to settle Macoral's open account. Assuming it paid the note at maturity and both have a December 31 year end. The entries on the books of Macor are, ano ba? So, August 1, ni-record ng Macor ang benta sa Macoral's. Debit accounts receivable, credit sales. And hindi nakabayad on August 31 kasi 1 month ang pautang. Kaya nung September 1, ni-record na ng Macor na notes receivable dahil nag-issue naman ang Macoral's ng note. Debit notes receivable. Eh kung di nag-i-issue ng note, hindi mo mare-record na note receivable yan. So, kailangan nakapag-issue ng promissory note. So, nung nag-issue ng promissory note, na-convert into a note receivable. And then, binura natin ang account receivable. Kaya natin kinredit. So, that is to transform the account receivable into a note receivable. Ito ngayon, nakolekta na. May interest pa nga. So, 18,000 times 15% times 90 over 360. Be careful with the interest rate. It is usually expressed in annual or yearly computation. So, palagi niyong iisipin yung duration. Kung 30 days ba yan? 3 months, 4 months, or annual. Kung annual, walang problema. You apply directly the interest rate. Pero kung hindi siya annual, you have to compute for the duration of the note. Kung ilang buwan ba yan? Ilang days ba yan? So, anong entrada? Debit cash. Kasi na-convert natin yung note into cash. So, nakolekta natin. Paano kung tumalbog? Hindi natin nakolekta uli. So, that will be another problem to record. So, nakolekta natin yung cash, tapos yung notes receivable natin, i-cross out na natin sa record. That is why we credit it. And then we recognize interest income on note. Maturity date calculated as of December 30 since it was a 90-day note. 29 days left in September. So, So 30 days in September, we exclude day 1, so it becomes 29 days. So October, 31 days. At 29 plus 31 in 90 days note. So yung last day ng November, that will be the maturity date of the note. Itong 800s, marunong na kayo mag-compute ng maturity date. Itong maturity value naman ng note ay principal plus interest. So how much is the note? 18,000. How much is the maturity value of the note? 18,675. When was the note issued? It was issued on September 1. When does it mature? So yun yung mga tanong sa utak nyo. Kailan in-issue? Kailan magmamature? Magkano ang note? Magkano ang maturity value ng note? So magkakaibang i-record natin lahat. Sometimes the note, the issuer does not pay. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, hindi nabayaran, patay. Pag hindi nakabayad, may panibagong adjustment na naman tayo sa record natin kasi nagkaroon na naman ng impact yan dun sa ating equation. Asset is equal to liabilities plus capital. Yung accounts receivable mo, naging notes receivable. Yung notes receivable mo, magiging accounts receivable na naman uli kasi hindi nabayaran eh. So, dapat i-record uli natin ng tama. Ano ba yung dapat natin i-reflect dun sa ating record. So, a dishonored note is a note that the maker failed to pay at maturity. Since the note has matured, the holder or payee removes the note from the notes receivable. Dahil nga nag-mature na, eh, hindi na yan notes receivable. Matured na eh. Kaso hindi mo nga na-receive. So, i-convert mo uli sa accounts receivable. Kasi it is no longer a note receivable if it is already a matured note. At tandaan nyo, kapag dumating na yung maturity date ng note, it ceases to be a notes receivable. It could either be a received cash or an account receivable again. The maker, at the maturity date of the note, the maker is responsible for the principal plus interest. The payee should record the interest earned and remove the note from its notes receivable account. Thus, the payee of the note should debit accounts receivable for the maturity value of the note and credit notes receivable for the notes face and value, notes face value and interest revenue for the interest. So, pero this time, hindi mo na i-debit yung accounts receivable at face value. Kasama na yung interest income. Interest receivable. Dapat yung interest receivable, no? Debit accounts receivable, 18 accounts receivable. Tama, debit accounts receivable, 18,000. Kasi yun lang naman talaga yung accounts receivable mo eh. And then, debit interest receivable. And credit mo yung note receivable, 18,000 at saka interest income. Tama ba yung sinasabi ko? Let's see. So, urahin natin to. Mackerels ito. So, mackerels ito. So, debit accounts receivable, 18,675. Credit notes receivable, 18,000. And interest revenue. The accounts receivable is being debited for the total amount of the note, yung maturity value ng note. So we debited the accounts receivable no longer based on the accounts receivable, but on the maturity value of the note, which is the accounts receivable plus interest revenue. Can we record this as debit to interest receivable because considering that this remains to be an interest receivable. And we debit the accounts receivable for 18,000. Pwede yun. Interest receivable, 675. Accounts receivable, 18,000. And credit notes receivable, kasi yun yung face value ng receivable, 18,000. And credit interest revenue, 675. Pwede yon. Kasi wala namang masamang ipaghiwalay mo yung notes receivable dun sa interest receivable. Mas maganda pa nga na interest receivable kasi nagre-reflect yung tunay na nangyari. Kasi wala ka namang ipinautang dun sa, hindi naman merchandise yung 675 dun kung hindi interest on notes receivable. Okay, we're done with our pang-labing-pitong aralin. Ito na yung next topic natin, pang-labing-walo. Kung meron kayong mga tanong, kasi medyo papalalim na yung mga discussion natin, just write on the comment para kapag may time ako, titignan ko at sasagutin ko para mas maliwanagan kayo. Ang target natin dito sa video na to, talagang matuto kayo kahit wala kayong kasamang teacher. Ako na muna ang inyong pandemic guro. Dapat baguhin ko to, no? Gawin kong pandemic guro. Kaya lang, baka naman hindi naman lahat ng panahon pandemic. Baka hanggang pandemic na lang ako pagka ganun ang title ko. So, tuturuan ko kayo, may pandemic o wala. God bless and keep safe.